recording. Share screen. Which one? Let's have a look. We're here. Oh, that's cool. That's funny. Oh, there you go. Morning. Oh, I was trying out a new bit of technology, so I'm already recording. But I was just trying out a new bit of technology this morning. So if it all goes a bit wobbly, then I'm very sorry. Now, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, got
Yes.
thumbs up. You can hear me. Marvelous. Then, are we all okay? Yeah, good. I can't see your
You're
face, Chris, but we will begin. So it's quite low down. It's quite fascinating because it zooms with you. Yeah. So lots of things to learn. Right. Okay. I just took that up a little bit now. There you go. That's a bit better. Right, let's get going, shall we? I want us to start lying down in a full body stretch, if that's okay. And then a TheraBand pack. You're going to need a band nearby as well. Cheers, mate. Okay, have the band for your stretching when we start. Okay, so the first thing we do is a full body stretch. So arms overhead and legs. Oh, squeeze and tighten everything. Okay, and just give yourself a moment here. Notice how your shoulder blades feel. Notice any tension in your back. Arms overhead. Maybe you need to adjust your neck. Your neck is quite long, so try and bring the shoulders down. Notice any niggles around the knees, around the ankles. Okay, lovely. Keep the arms stretched overhead. Bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet together. And just for a few moments, okay, we're going to drop the knees in. So in and out, in and out. And in a little while, so this will feel a bit interesting, we're going to go out, stay out, and just tiny little pulses. So this is kind of just tapping into the nervous system a minute. So tiny little pulses out and out and out and out and out and out and out. It all makes sense in a bit. Now rest, leave the legs nice and wide for a second. Okay, wiggle jiggle your bottom and your hips just to adjust again. Okay, so feet flat on the floor, knees bent. Bring your arms over to your side palms down and do the same thing. So do a tiny little pat, 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 pat. Okay, so it's a little press down, long straight arms, hands down towards the ground and reaching towards your ankles, tiny little pats. Now, turn your palms over, same thing, tiny wing little pats. Good job. Okay, and stop. Okay, hands go out, say 4, 7 o'clock. 4 and 7 o'clock, same thing. Palms down, little pats, tiny wing little pats, tiny wing little pats. Okay, turn the palms up, the same thing. This is where you might notice anything's going off in the shoulders a little bit. So straight arm, and you might feel a little bit imbalanced maybe, or your rhythm changes. Okay, lovely. So let's take it up a little higher. So we're out at 3 and 9 o'clock. Palms down. Pat, 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 pat. Tap, 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 tap. Palms up. Same thing, palms up. So So it's the back of your hands you're feeling against the floor. What if we go 10 to 2? Keep tapping. So palms down, 10 to 2. Might feel a bit weird. Do what you can. Palms up, 10 to 2. So again, just focus on your rhythm where possible. So it's a bit of a funny one around the shoulder joint and around the muscles on the top of the chest. Okay. Little bit higher, 5 to 11 now. Palms down will be much of a challenge, so you might have to have a little play with that, or just stay with your palms up. Tiny, weeny, tiny little pats, pat, 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 tap, 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 and all the way up to 12. And then go out, palms up, keep tapping as you're starting to descend now to 3 and 9 o'clock. Tap, tap, palms up, keep going all the way. At 3 and 9 o'clock, palms down, keep tapping, and then tap as far as you can. Now it might mean that you do a 180-degree turn, so your hands go from palm up right the way around. So just have a little feel for that. So your palms are down at the top of the move. And again, what you might feel is tightness around the chest and around the rib cage, but just play with it, keep tapping, and then rest your hands to your sides. Now that should feel a bit odd in your shoulders, and you will, and I recognize we'll all have different abilities there, but it's a really good one to sort of wake up the nervous system and to engage around the shoulders. Okay. Okay, so we have the band. Fold the band in half and then put some tension on through the band. So arms towards the ceiling, grip the band, and then just gently pull apart. So we're not going very far, just a gentle pull apart. And then I want you to send the hands to the ceiling. Then I want you to melt the shoulders to the ground. So we go up and then down, and up and down. Good. Okay, keep pulling. So it's not just an up and down move. There's a little bit of tension on here. That's the important bit. So everything is starting to engage around the shoulder and the chest. Lovely. And then relax in the middle. Okay, and then from there, let's take the arms overhead when possible. Relax for a moment. Grip the band in your hands and separate again. Just hold that there, making sure your neck is long and your shoulders are drawn downwards. Your shoulder blades are drawn downwards. And for me, I've got a little judder. At the same time, I want you to think about your abdominals. So draw in your abdominals at the bottom of your ribs, lift up through your pelvic floor, relax your toes. Okay, and then release. Now, we are going to straighten the legs and we are going to sit up. Okay, so I'm going to come back into shot. Okay, so we're sat up. I want you to think about being nice and upright. Give yourself a moment. So again, just bounce off the knees. Okay. Adjust your bum cheeks so you feel like you're sat on your sit bones. Roll your toes in and out for a second. Keep looking up because I'm trying to see you on screen, but I recognize the video camera is looking at me in a different area. As you can see, we're not in the studios today. We'll be back there on Monday. Okay, right. So we're nice and tall, upright in your spine. I want you to think about just creating a C shape with your small of your back, lower back, and then rise up again. Okay, so a little C shape as you roll down and then roll back up. Now, if you want to, bring your knees into play. So think about a bent knee or a straight leg. I don't mind. This is just more about creating that space in your back. And at the same time as you do this, just be mindful of sort of the perineum area, And your pelvic floor is engaged, so as you roll down, you feel like you're all nice and tucked in. Now, if you want to, we can start to make this a little bigger, rolling down a little deeper and rolling back up again. And we can start to think about what breath feels like. As a rule of thumb, we exhale on exertion. And the exertion in this would be to come back up into your upright position. So what we can do here is add to it. Maybe take your arms overhead and roll up again. It's nice, isn't it? Yeah. Give me 2 or 3 more of those. Let's see what that's starting to look like. Now, what I'd like us to do is to add in arms. So one arm comes out to the side and you roll back. So as you roll back, bring one arm out to the side and think about how that feels in your center on the up face. Now for me, I get quite tight in my hip flexors when I do this. That's all indicative that I'm using the right things in the right areas, but it does get quite intense. So if you want to, you can pop a ball or a block between your knees or ankles just to really help keep your inner thighs engaged and aligned. Well done. 2 more, one each side. Okay, so this is a bit of a hip thing. I want you to come up like me and take your feet out to one side. This is about range of movement, okay? So it's the back leg. We lift it and we bring it around to align over the front knee. Lift it and take it back again. Let's just practice that bit. Got it? Okay. So here's the change. We're going to bring the leg forward. And if you want to, use your hand to push up onto your knee. Come back down onto your bottom and take the foot around. Got it? So the leg comes around first. Come up onto your knee, back down onto your bottom, back round again. 2 more times for me, please. So the foot has to come around first. If you want to push off your hand, you can. If you want to give it a go without hands, no touchy, that's fine by me. Well done, last time. Okay, well done. Guess what, team? Other side. Ditch the socks. Right, there's some warm in this space today. It's the same thing. Once you're set in position, I want you to lift the back leg and bring it round. Lift the back leg and send it back. And this is when we really notice how different we can be, one side to the other. This is a round rotation in the hip. And again, as we age, we tend to favour a side in a lot of our movements. So then this time round, we're going to add. So the leg will lift and come round, and then we push forward up onto one knee. If you're using your arm to do this, just be conscious of your shoulder. Still think about it as an exercise movement rather than we're just trying to get on and off the floor, okay? So I know, because I've had a sore hand this summer, I know that getting on and off the floor is so completely different one side to the other. Last time, and then release. Okay, that was a little bit of a surprise this morning, isn't it? Okay, right. So we've done that bit. Now, we're going to sit up nice and wide, and it is about rotation, okay? So we did this last week, and what I was looking for was just something that made you feel comfortable. So I don't want to put in Pilates technique at this point. All I want you to do is to work on that rotation for you. Use your hands if you want to. Think about how you can make each rotation a little stronger. Could it be longer through the spine? Could you use your hands to increase the range? Can you or do you notice any stretches in any other areas of your body? Okay, now let's see if we can take the hands wide and rotate, and start to think about the shoulder blades. So it's the back side of your body, your upper back, and I want you to think about using the shoulder blades to just tweak in and pull in to make the rotation bigger. Nice. Okay, and then from here, we'll start to fold. Now, I don't want this to be anything else than a fold in the back. So you don't have to bring your upper body really close to your legs. So think about the fold, the nose over knee, and there should be tension in your back. You shouldn't be able to fold too much at this point. Bring in your hands, bring hand towards the outside toe, your baby toe. Lovely. Okay, we've been there a while now. So from here, we rest up for a second, sit nice and tall, send your hands behind you, lean into your hands, and from here, allow your knees to open again. Bring the soles of your feet together, lift up through your chest, and just turn your fingers away from your body for a second. Remember that pulse prep we did? Let's do that again. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then release. Good job. Okay, so here we are. We're leant back, our chest is lifted, our shoulders, shoulder blades are pulling together. We're going to lift one leg up into half tabletop and bring it down. Just a few of these. This will really shorten and reduce the space between your thigh and your abdomen, okay? So that's the first bit. Okay. Now start to take your attention to the arch of each foot and pull up through the inner thigh. If you can start to think of that journey, arch inside of the lower limbs, inside knee, inside thigh. So we're, rather than using some of your bigger muscles, we're focusing on more of the muscles in the midline of the body. Okay, from there, release your hands. We're going to roll down. Okay, and set ourselves. I'm just going to sort out my leggings. Getting new leggings, then it takes a while to adjust, doesn't it? Okay, right. So we've already thought about reducing the range of movements between thigh and ribs. Now we're just simply going to come up into tabletop. What does that look like? How long can you hold it for? So this is going to be a little set that will play havoc on your hip flexors. So bear with me. If you need to rest at all, suggest you bring one foot down, pull one leg in, okay? That will help to sort of release how you're feeling. Okay, so we're still up, we're still starting to think, God, this is already tired. Leg closest to me, out and in, repeat, same leg. Take your time, out and in, good. Out, in, lovely, out and in. Okay, give me 4 more of these. We're staying on the same size. I recognize you're already probably fatiguing. Woo, last time. Then it goes like this. Knee in and high, knee in and low, knee in and high, in and low. Keep going. One, ta-da. Woo! In, stand, in, down, continue, continue. Good job. And then release. Woo. So the leg that you were moving, bring it into your chest, give it a little hug ski. Got it? Foot down. Are we ready? Oh, hang on, sorry, I lied. Come up into just a little bit of a bridge. Squeeze your butt. Hips nice and high for a moment. Okay, tabletop, other side. 1, 2. Think about your setup. Think about the inner thigh. That's the important thing here. So the inner thighs are doing the work. Okay, once we're into position and you feel nice and knitted in your abdominals, we go again, extending, out and in, back leg, out and in. Resetting into tabletop each time. Foot is pointing towards the skirting board and you are conscious of your inner thigh pulling in rather than letting the leg drift out. So inner thigh, pull in each time. Now you're going to feel a bit tired on the first leg you've already exercised. So hang in there for me, okay? We've got 3 more of these to go before we adapt again. Well done. And then from here, straight into it. High, low. High, low. Good job. Woo. Well done. 3 more to go. 2 more to go. Last time. Bring both knees into chest. Release the first leg you exercised. Hold on to that second knee. Pull that knee into chest. Okay, both feet come down onto the ground. The first leg, I want you to lift up, pop it on your thigh or knee of the other leg. Okay, we're just going to do a bit of a release here for a second. Okay, allow the legs to sway. So one leg is perched on the other. Okay. Leg 1, we're going to bring it down towards the floor, up and over onto the other side. Let me just move a minute. So one side, up and over the other side. Be okay with this. It's just, I need you just to crack on with a bit of moving here. Okay, so leave it there still. So it's still bent. I want you to take your hand and press the knee away. So you should just push the knee away, creating some space in the hip flexor. Lovely. Release. Okay. Other side. So start with just a little wiggle jiggle. So it starts smaller, becomes bigger. This is a brain thing. It's not just a physical thing. It is teaching your body that you're okay. And as you work through the movement, it becomes bigger, allowing your foot to touch down on one side and your knee to touch down on the other side. So it feels a bit odd. Lovely. Okay, and then come back to center and hold. Use your hand to push the knee away. Again, creating space in the hip. Well done. Okay, so with that done and said, come up into a seated position and have a drink of water while I just demonstrate what we're going to do next. So we've just started really thinking about mobilizing the hip and opening the hip. Now, I'm going to show you variations, but what I see is that we're very imbalanced. So what I'd like us to do is variations of what we call pigeon pose. So you're in mermaid to start with, so 90 at the front and 90 at the back leg. Then I want you to come forward, and if you want to, straighten out the back leg, okay? Okay, now, those that yoga, you'll see lots of variations of this type of pose. I just want you to rock into it so you feel a bit safer in the hamstrings. Again, have a little walk with the movement. Okay, and then when you're ready, with your back leg straightened out, I want you to bring your chest down towards the ground. Now, it might be a phased movement. You might just want to take your time to get down there, and once you're down there, enjoy. Now, again, adaptations, it's okay to stay on the outside of the hip, Chris, and just keep working with the stretch. Work within that comfortable range that you feel safe in. And it's okay to move, you don't have to be static here. Okay, from here, slide your hands to your front bent knee and just stretch out your arms for a second. Now, if you want to, you can come up onto your fingertips. And if you want to, you can look to bend that back knee and hold on to the inside arch, or the tiptoes, or the outside of the foot. I don't really mind. This is more about the stretch in the quad and here the hip flexor. And it will feel horrible. Like, I love all those girls in class who can do this and then sit upright. Okay, so it's quite a bit of effort and energy and stretch in there. Okay, so we're going to have a look at what that feels like on the other side. So same thing, 90-90 with your knees. Think about coming into pigeon pose and what that feels like for you. Adapt where you need to. Be okay to keep moving. So some people will bring that bent front foot into a 90-degree. If you don't have range, you don't have range. I'm not a fan of that. For me, it's more about what we can do out of the stretch here in the hip flexor and your hamstring into your inner thigh, so in your undercarriage. So keep moving if you have to, if you want to, which I far prefer. And if you want to come down, chest towards the ground, you can. Up onto your hands. So we've got this is us trying to work on the glutes. If you want to, you can come around and grab that back leg. Still can't grip with my finger that way. So either inside of the arch or the top of your foot, the back side of the foot. Stretching the knee, the quad is really important here. the knees. Good. Toes together, knees wide. Settle down in child's pose for a moment. Okay, and then we come up onto all fours. Now, a little bit of a wiggle jiggle required now, okay? So, hands pointing forwards, fingers spread. Start with a small circle with the body around the hands. Don't think. Now notice your fingers and try and spread your fingers. Noticing that as you circle forward, the weight is moving around the hand and fingertips. And still. Now, hips side to side with a wiggle jiggle. We're going to hump and hollow. So we've got side to side movement. Chin to chest, round out through the back. Chest, belly lowers, chin lifts. Repeat that. So chin to chest, stretch out through your arms. And then lower, chest lowers, chin lifts. Okay, let's do that again and add on. So chest lift, so back lifts, adding a little circle, one way then the other, whilst in cat position. Is that cow? Oh, I don't know. Pumping. Okay. Switch over. So chest lowers. Oh, cat. This is cat, isn't it? Okay. And same thing. So your tail is sticking up, your chin is sticking up, and you're going to circle again. Might feel different. You might want to bring your hips into play. Like a little jiggle. Okay. Sit back. Bottom onto heels and just roll out your wrists. Good. Right. So I did this last week with you, and I think we need to bring it back for a little while. And it is literally to lie down, arms out wide, and then push back into a seated position. So I'll demonstrate for you. No style, right? So it's a case of lying down, arms out wide, arms back under your chest, push yourself up, sit back. Come forward, chest down, arms wide, hands at your sides, push up and repeat. So lower, wide. Now I'd like you to count 15. So we've got 15 more of these to go. And there's a really good reason why we're doing this, okay? We need to work the upper body. Do what you can. Notice where your hands are each time. Notice how that feels. Have we got balance in the shoulders? Is it niggling somewhere? Can you adjust it? But keep going, just keep going, keep going, keep going. Well done. Your shoulders are thank you. Once you've done your 15, sit back and grab some water. Whew. Feeling good? Whew. So a couple of things there. Your heart rate will definitely increase, but also we weren't putting any consideration to the movement. We were lower and wider, up. So we were just trying to normalize the movement. That is actually quite a challenge. What it does, it wakes up the chest, engages the back of your arms, it engages the front of your arms as well. Your core come into play, and there's a mobility piece there. So it's all good stuff. It's all really positive stuff why we do that. Okay, so now we need to think about how we can create better extension in the back. So being sat like this is neutral. This is flexed, so we're flexed at the hips. Now what we need to do is think about extension. So think about the tail sticking out, a bit of the cat-cow if you like, but in seated. So we just get this bit going, and then we're going to lie down on our bellies. Okay, you keep going, just because I feel that many of us get quite restricted here in this movement. Where we go next with this is this. So just watch for a second. We're looking to take the hands out to your sides, palms up, and slide the fingernails down your mat. So we're lifting the chest, lifting the belly, and lowering. Now it's important, if you can, to take your hands either to the floor, nails down, or take your hands to your back in clasp. So as you lift the chest, you squeeze the shoulder blades. So it'll feel a bit fiddly to start with. I'm just having a quick look at you. But this bit's really important because we're creating strength in the lower and the middle back, okay? But also stretching out the chest. So we've just come from 15, that was close to 20, press ups. And now we're doing the opposite. So we were pushing, and now as we lift the chest off the floor here, I need you to really focus on the squeeze of the shoulder blades and what the middle back, the shoulder blades feel like when you perform the movement. Okay, by now you should get quite tense in the back, so push back into child's pose and just rest that off a second. Lovely. So what we can look at here is the hamstrings. So just for a moment, without any flair or style, I just simply want you to kick the legs into your bottom. That's all. Okay. Now this changes. We're going to slow it down. So as the leg comes up, the heel kicks towards your bottom. As the leg lowers, the toe points. So you're going to have to coordinate this to start with. Now I've rested my hands underneath my chest as if I was doing that press up again. And it was just, this is for me, it's just so I can notice where my shoulders are. One, and flex. Point, and flex. So again, we're just becoming familiar with the pattern. This is more of a neuro Pilates session today. We're just getting really familiar with the pattern. Okay, now rest, watch for a second. We are going to flex one leg, flex at the knee, 3 kicks to bottom, 1 pointy toe, and it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, point. Now notice my thigh has come right the way off the mat now. So it's 3, 2, 1, point. 3, 2, 1, point. And we're going to do that 6 to 8 times. First time round, okay? 3, 2, 1, point. 3, 2, 1, point. Think inner thigh as well. It might feel a bit odd. It's often a bit of a challenge when we are working the back side of the body. Beautiful. You're looking good. And then the response to one side is the other. So we'll repeat. Lift, kick, 2, 1 point. 3, 2, 1 point. 3, 2, 1 point. Good. So 6 to 8 times each side. 2, 1 point. And when you've completed your numbers, sit back in child's pose. Woo. Ooh, my back, my hips are going all low. Feels nice. Well done. Right. Stay there just a little moment. Grab some water if you need to, lovelies. Okay. We are flipping over again. And we are going to look at bridges. Okay, so let's just have a little play with this again today. Silky leggings. I'm not a fan of the, other than black on me, I'm not a fan of the one colour legging. But I'm giving them a go. So far, so good. Right. I want you to start this. We're going to have a little play. We're going to start with wide feet, and then eventually they're going to come in, okay? So we'll start with the wide feet to kick off. Wide feet, just a few rock and rolls of the pelvis. Now, if you want to pop your hands on your pelvis, just to give yourself a bit of feedback. The other thing is here is noticing, because your feet are nice and wide, noticing that you've clenched your bum cheeks as you curl up. You may feel this in the back of the knee and the hamstring. Okay. Well done. Now we're going to roll all the way up a little bit higher to the top of the movement and then roll all the way back down. So because we've done quite a bit of mobility and hip work this morning, I'm hoping you're gonna, I feel this feels quite easy, or that you feel that you're more competent in the movement than maybe you normally are. But we have done quite a bit around creating space in the pelvis. Now at the top of the movement, do 2 things for me. The first one is to really make sure that you push through the hips and pelvis, so the butt has to clench nice and tight. And the second one is just be really aware of the inner thigh and really think about how all of it's been tightened up. Then slowly lay the spine down, drawing your belly into backbone. Let's do this 2 or 3 more times. Hands, if you want to leave your arms overhead, you can, or at your sides. This is really more about the mobilizing here. Remember I said when we started, we're going to start wide with our feet. Now come in a little, so you're not quite in neutral, but you're not really super wide, if that makes sense. Checking your heels are close to your bottom. Come in with a couple of anterior posterior tilts. And what you may notice here is more of an inner thigh connection. Come to the top of the movement. At the top, think about the bottom of your ribs. So you're not flaring, you're nice and connected and tight. And then really enjoy melting that spine back into the ground. Think about the inner thigh connection to your center and your core. That feels lovely, right? Okay. Last time, all the way up, think arch, inside of the knees, inner thighs, into the pelvic floor, nice and tall, hold it there. Now 10 pulses skywards, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and release down. Hold on. Okay. Last time we're walking the feet together. Now for some of you, you'll find this a bit of a challenge. So I really want you to put a load of focus and effort into the arch of the foot, the inner thigh now, okay? So draw it up from the arch, start with just a few tilts. Now I've got good old strong thighs. I find this quite a challenge because there's a lot of flesh there. I find it quite a challenge. So rock and roll, be conscious of the glutes and think about your bottom, that the bottom is doing some of the lifting. Then we roll right the way to the top of the movement. Go as far as you can. Lay your spine back down. You opt where you want your hands. Inner thigh all the way. Think about big toe, second toe. Done. Top of the movement and stay there and pulse. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, up and hold. Spine down, draw your knees into chest. Well done, good chin. Woo. Okay, whilst we're here, we might as well extend those legs towards the ceiling. Okay, flex and point through the toes. So we're flexing and pointing through the ankles, knees straight towards the ceiling. So you can't see me, but trust me, pointing and flexing is going on. Draw the knees into chest. Take one foot to the floor. Continue to pull the other knee into chest. Okay, hold on to that knee, don't let go. The foot that's on the floor, push into the ground and drive the hip upwards just a little bit. You may feel a bit wobbly. Lay your spine down. We're going to repeat that. So tuck the knee into chest. Hold on to that bit. Keep the hips level. Drive out the heel. Push the other foot into the floor. Hold it up there and lay it down. Switch sides. Good job. Knee to chest, give it a proper catch, stretching out. When you're ready, push, 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 push. And lay it down. Good job. Let's do that again. Push, push, push. Last time, all the way to the top of the movement. And release. Okay, soles of the feet connect. Knees drop wide again. Now, if this is the third time when we've done this, if you can, take your hands overhead, so open butterfly. Settle here for a second. If you want to add that little pulse bounce, you can. This time, really try and let go of any tension in the glutes, the hips, and the pelvic floor. Tiny weeny little bounces. Draw your knees together, walk your feet out nice and wide. Okay, now both knees are going to drop to one side and then the other. Just move it over a bit. So the idea here, we're getting the stretch out of the hip flexors and quad. Really pull your heels in closer towards your bottom. You get a bigger stretch out the inner thighs, quads and hips. Just keep dropping like a windscreen wiper, one side. Feet go wider if you can. Really try to push out of the feet to try and get the edges of your thighs onto your mat. Lovely. Just lovely. Stop and pause on one side. So let's assume we're on the right side. Take your left hand, hold on to the left ankle if you can, and just enjoy that stretch. Ooh. If you want to, right hand on the inside of the right knee, just push down towards the ground. Up, switch sides. Let's assume we're taking the knees down to the left side, hold on to the right ankle, and press the knees towards the ground. If you want to add left hand to left inner thigh, push down. You're welcome. It's a little stretch. Okay, well done. Now we are going to stretch out through the shoulders, and to do so we need to lift the bottom, clasp onto the hands, and see if you can just squeeze your shoulder blades together, just so we get a nice stretch out of the shoulders. Release your arms. Hold on to your left back of knee. Send your right leg away. Hold on to left calf and point. So again, point and flex. Point and flex. You keep going. And then we're going to repeat that on the other side. Well done. Okay, lovely. And then from there, can you hear me okay? Take yourself into a full body stretch. Well done. It's gone into a wide shot of you. So try not to look so. Somehow it's made you the speaker. Okay, bring your hands back to your centers. Did this from here last time, didn't it? Okay, let's start by doing some little, there you go, I pinned myself. Okay, so we start by just putting yourself into a nice restful position, whether you're sat or whether you're standing. Did I say standing? I meant lying. And just breathe. In the first part of this, I want you to consider your breathing and how you notice your breathing. Breathing through the nostrils. You may notice that you're breathing more through one nostril than the other. Can you try and switch nostrils? Notice the in-breath each time. Notice the out-breath. Notice the sounds within. Sounds nearby. Loads of sounds in the distance. Just move from one sound to the next without acknowledging. In each breath in, you're breathing in some wellness and goodness. And each breath out, just clearing, just getting rid of stuff. Don't overthink. If you feel that you track elsewhere and you wander, just come back to your breathing sequencing. This bit's important. Maybe you can hear wildlife, traffic, water. Moving from one sound to the next. And if you travel, come back to your breath. Maybe starting to count your breath. How long does it take to breathe in? How long in the same rhythm to breathe out? Now we're super energized. We reward ourselves. Thank our bodies for showing up, for moving well and having great mobility. To remind ourselves the importance of looking after yourself. Well done. To set further intentions for the rest of the day. To know your goals. Finally, as we start to come back into the space, we use these moments to remind ourselves of how great you are, that you were loved, and that you are happy. Use these final moments just to reward yourself and to recognize how important it is to put yourself first occasionally. Because when you do that, you're better for those around you. Come back into the room. Create movement in your fingers and toes. In your own time, bring yourself into a seated position. Take your time. Stretch out, arms high, reach, and then give yourselves a round of applause. Lovely girls, well done. Oh, right, let's just see if I can stop recording.